My name is Ron LeBlanc, and I'm an international gem hunter. My partner Diane and I explore the world looking for gemstones, and this is the story. I'm sitting here in Mikey Scott's studio. This is going to be a vlog about local intelligence, because I always mention local intelligence, and I want to elaborate on that a little bit. And oh, by the way, me and Mikey do lots of other stuff where we write some songs and do some stuff, and he does all the AV in our vlog. So here we are back home. But I want to talk about this local intelligence in case you go. And I don't think people do enough work on that, because the more intelligence you have, essentially more facts you have that you can be comfortable with, the better off you are to be buying stones. So, for instance, before I go even to Arusha or any place that I go to buy stones, I do lots of research, not only to get kind of the price of stones, which quite often with stones, there's never a colored stones, there's never a black book, there's never a kind of a categories in which you can trust too much. But you garner whatever you can, collect what you can, and you need to also be very concerned, because you need to be also, everything out there you need. The more data, the more secure you are, you're better able to make a credible buy, a good buy, and make money on that buy. And, you know, so there are a lot of things that you have to see, and they can be a little bit odd. Let's say it's rice season. And there's nobody in the fields of Alaska. You're in Madagascar, and there's nobody in taking stones out of the ground in Alakaka, because they're all doing rice. That's a bad time to go. What if it's raining? So what if everybody's gathering stones to take to some of these shows in Bangkok, Hong Kong, or Tucson, Arizona? And so you have to know all that as well. So those are geo issues in which you have to tend as well. And mines may be going down, mines may be going up. There could be hordes of different people that are buying. You don't want to go then. And so there's all these things that you need to know, and that's going to affect the price of your stones, because stones, oddly enough, oscillate like crazy. And of course, they could find a new mine, another yield, a big yield come out, or there's nothing. And quite often, colored stone deposits are very finite. They're very hot for 2 weeks and then they're gone. And so you also need good timing. So all this is very, very important. And when you get there, the first thing when I get to Arusha, in this case Arusha, but it could be any place, I have my contacts there. I get those contacts, but I take all the disparate information I've got, which could be all over the place. Price here, up there, retail price, auction price, price in America, price on the ground, price at the hole, price in Sri Lanka, all over the place. So, but I get there and I have to find out what's going on in the market. I usually need 2 or 3 people in some ways competing against each other to get that price. So once I find the price, it's very, very important. And often when I first look for that price, I also might even buy something that might be expensive, but it gives me an idea, an entree, and they know I'm not a tire kicker. So I buy a small stone, and then they know I got a suitcase full of money, and then the gems come out because they want access to that money. They want to sell me stones. So I need when I go there, I have to have the comfort of my surroundings. I have to be safe. So I want to feel safe to start off with, so I don't. My mind is not muddied with other things, and I'm looking over my shoulder. I want to know what is happening in the market generally, and then I get the 2 people that are 3 or 4 people or 10 people that I'm going to sell. Usually I have a good contact there, and then I match them against each other and I figure it out. What is the price? And then I ask things like, oh, by the way, are there any thieves in the market? What about situations with the government? Are there any police? Is there any pickpockets? Where should I not go? All these things are absolutely essential because they unburden you and clear you to the one thing that is the price. That's what you're fighting with. So local intelligence is, people don't do enough work with that, but it always allows you to go cleanly to buy that stone, you know? And it's very, very important. So anyways, I think that you can't do enough of that. And also, there are other things. Let's say another idea. local intelligence or the place you're at will tell you how to negotiate. When I'm in Colombia or I'm in Mozambique, I'm very concerned. In Colombia in particular, you got to be a real kind of strong macho guy, you got to jump up, you got to scream, you got to swear, you got to be very hard because they're a macho culture. No respect whatsoever. So that is a cultural thing that you have to understand. And there's also decorum, what not to do. Don't put your feet on people's tables on the head. Don't show them the bottom of your foot like in Thailand. Don't touch them on the head. Bow when you're going down. You have to know what you're supposed to do properly, because if they see you in disrespect, then you'll never get that's another local intelligence. They won't give you the price. They want to like you. When I'm in Vietnam, guess who I talk to? It's the women that rule in Vietnam. Talk to the woman. Don't sell to the man. The man, these women have been in the foxholes. They've had the babies. They've had the AK-47s. They do the business and things. So you talk to the woman. And quite often that's the case. So you have to know, do I talk to the woman there? Am I soft? Can I trust them? Will they take offense? Sometimes, you cannot just bring yourself there. You're in an ever fluid world, in flux. Different things are going all the time. And you have to be ready for the uncertainties. And you have to be ready for other strategies as well. Sometimes you got to say, shit, I'm not going to make any money, but let me try to get the best I can out of here. All this is local intelligence before, during, and after. And it's very, very, very important to know what you're doing. And the more you know that, the more you can target what you want, the price that you want, in safety, and also there's another thing that you do with stones, in that quite often we push the lines. We don't want to cross over them, but we push them. And sometimes draconian or bureaucracy is run amok, and we have to push and go around kind of things. And there's a whole nother layer. You get a little paranoid because you got to be careful. You can be targeted, and you got to be careful about doing anything illegal. So stay away from that as well. But you have to know the sensibility of that. If you cross the road at the wrong time with a camera on the wrong thing, will they put you in a mud hut, or is it insignificant? So a lot of places you go that you don't have to place value or too much merit on something. And so this is also part of the cultural intelligence. So you can see there's a lot of things. And if you're not capable of integrating information in kind of a tapestry of knowledge, then you shouldn't go gem hunting, because you're going to be, and be ready for surprises. Be ready for surprises. Here's another thing. What about if there's yellow fever? What about if I've been laying in a fever in a Sri Lankan airport. I was locked in a room with beaver fever in Madagascar. You got to be ready to be, maybe you're going to get sick, and then what's going to happen? So what is there in place? Is it rabid with all kinds of chicken disease and all kinds of stuff and yellow fever? And you got to be ready for that. What if that happens? So you need a different, and every place you go, the intelligence will articulate the disparity and the particulars that you will need in that country. So all this is very, very important. And I should really write this down in kind of a way of gathering local intelligence, all through the cultural, the geological, the legal, the government, the tools you need, the approaches you take, the type of haggling that's apropos, the proper manners. You got to be very, very careful. You insult somebody, you got to be very careful. But sometimes the insult is perfect. Like I have jumped up in a table that was in Alakaka. There was, people were throwing me stones all over the place. I had lots and lots of money with me, piles of dough. And they were trying to confuse me, throw me into chaos. And I had to jump up and say, I used the F word, I'm sorry, I'm inclined to do that. And I told them that, I jumped up like a crazy man. And, it was getting dark late in the afternoon, but that's how I saved my life. I saved the deal, but I had to be careful. If I picked out one person and disparaged him, and it doesn't matter whether he's a town clown, if I show him disrespect, they've got a reason then to turn on me. Who is this arrogant white guy in our country taking the treasures from our ground? Oh, by the way, Did you know that? That every treasure in Madagascar, everybody always believes it still belongs to them. Because their grandmother was buried down there. They got very, very heavy culture of possessiveness with anything you take. And that adds a component. Very careful. You insult, let's say they go to Thailand. You insult one guy, everybody's against you. Oh my God. So local intelligence. Do not short yourself, because you'll be in a frenzy of fear and paranoia and uncertain. It's all right to be uncertain. It's all right to be in a windy, in a sailboat on a windy lake or ocean if you know how to sail. If you know you got to tack, if you know you got to go this way and that, it's okay. And in that maelstrom of uncertainty, on all these circumstances, where the treasure lies. So, local intelligence across all those platforms, the full spectrum of issues. You need that. So that's local intelligence. Thank you and goodbye and good luck.